Sorry, I just forgot that little detail. Okay, so check this out. If you're using Corona, instead of using these render settings, that's more of a final render. We can go over here to Corona and go to interactive rendering. So we click on this, we have a render that updates when we change things. So right now my intensity is 5. I put it on 50. We can see the change right here. We could also like tone it down with our sliders. So I'm just clicking and dragging. So what I like to do is I like to see the effect of one light without the other lights being active, just so I can see exactly what it's doing. So this, we can see our light, so we don't want that. Is this it? Okay, so if you click on visible directly, we can take it away. So right now it was like obscuring our view. So now we have a clean shot. Okay, so we see what it's doing. And now we have, oh wait. Let me see. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it kind of over here. And if we move our light, now depending on how strong your computer is, this might make it make some noise because it's your graphics card trying to process what's going on. So the angle of the light matters and the size. So all I'm trying to do is get some decent lighting going on. And I'm using my controls just like I move a shape. Actually, let's see what's going on here. If we go to interactive viewport. Okay. So if I went to interactive viewport, now I can see what it's doing and move inside the viewport. Let me see if I do visible directly. Okay, so now I can see this, and then I get to turn it off when I need to. Okay, let's go back here. So to turn it off, you just have to go back to it. So let me just go back to interactive rendering. I like what I see, I'll stop. So now what I'll do is I'll duplicate this light, control click, move it over here, and I'll turn it. You can do it exactly 90 degrees, or you can have it at some angles. It's all up to you. But lighting is something that you just go back and forth with, kind of. It's something else. If you're in other programs, lighting is kind of the same. It's just has different names for different things. Like a light might be called something different, but generally they all work the same. Kind of like real light. They all have intensity. They all have a scale to them, so you can make them bigger or smaller. And then you can also make objects lights at the same time. It's okay. So like this right here, let's say I get inside my camera, see what it looks like. Not sure why it's so, that's cut off like that. Hmm. Not sure why it's so low. Let's take off this protection and see what can happen. Okay. So I just took off that protection. I just panned and moved down. And now I'm going to go back to rigging tags and protection. All right, so it's locked in now. Okay, I like what it's doing so far. So let's get out of here. Let's start placing more of these lights. This has a strong kind of hit on the back of the sofa, so I'm just going to raise it a little bit over here. And also what I do for this light, since I already made it, I'm going to turn it off just to see what this light looks like in the render. So it's kind of like you're going back and forth looking at, well, this is my process. Looking at the effect of one light by itself. Okay, I like it. Gonna click stop. So now let me take this light now. E to move, control click. And I'll rotate it. Or you know what, let's just start up fresh. Let me just go over here to Corona light. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this one, click shift 90. All right, so I'm gonna span this one along the top. Let's get inside of our light. Okay, you see how bright it is? Well, actually, so we have our lights right here. Remember, these are two side lights. So let's disable this one. Click stop, render, just start it over again. So this is our one that we made, our new light. Just go to this intensity. Let's take it to half, 25. Not sure if it made a change. It didn't. So I'm just going to do it again. Yes, I want to stop it. Okay. So this is what the light on top is doing all by itself. I think it looks pretty nice. So if I take it to 1, this is what we see right here. 3. One thing you want to avoid, and this is looking fine to me, but you don't want it to be overblown. So you don't want to see like hot spots, you know. What I mean by that, like even this doesn't look that bad, you know. But when it's like super white and blown out, that's what you would like to avoid. But for this, I'll take it down a little bit. Let me do 4. Okay, and let me add in these other lights now and to see what it's looking like overall. Another thing we can do is, let me just turn off these lights. We can use color temperature. So if we go to temperature here, click on this, and we have this scale right here. It's a Kelvin scale. So it goes from cool to hot. I mean, you can make your own color here, but I just find this to be kind of nice. So, I mean, it goes to warm to cool, that's what I meant to say. So the lower I'm taking it, the warmer it's looking. And then the higher I take it, the colder it will look. Okay. So it looks blue-ish. And if you look on like a winter day, a colder day, you can kind of see that it's like bluish outside. And on warmer days, it's kind of like orangish, yellowish. But a lot of this depends on your reference too. You can use your reference as a guide. I don't have a reference here. I'm just kind of working with it. So yeah, intensity, temperature. I mean, you could also change the color here, like I said, but I personally prefer color temperature. So let me take it down to 3. Let me add in these other lights. And also we can take, let's say one of these other lights, go to temperature and make it a little bit warmer. And this will make it a little bit more dynamic. So you see how it's still colder, but this side, it's a little bit warm. Just makes it a little bit interesting. A little bit more spice to the scene. And I'll do it again for this one over here. So you kind of see it's getting hotter on this side. We could also, if we're really feeling crazy, we can let me copy this and I'll just name it well, we already know this is like this light right here. Since there's a guitar there, I'll just name it G. Yeah. G G O1. So what I'm doing here is I just copied that light and I just disabled it. So this is like the same light. I just want to play with the color. So if I go over here and let's say I want it to be like a purplish kind of color, we'll see this looking like. So we have this one over here, which is kind of a warm color, and then I just added in some purple just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we have our top light over here. Let's name it top. Like I said, I have the temperature on, but I can control click just to copy it. So make a new one. Like I said, you can just go in and play with these colors. Make it more intense. So I have a blue on the top. Say like a greenish. It's not really coming through like I thought. Let me see. Oh, color temperature still on. That's why. So if I turn off the color temperature, yeah, now we're getting this. Let me take it back to where was that. And the more white you have in there, the more natural it is. So if you like put in like all green, of course it goes to something crazy. I can go over here and make it a nice bluish color. But this is looking pretty good so far. For additional light, let me get out of this camera. We can give ourselves a dome light for additional bounce light. I don't know what that was on. Go to Corona. Corona Sky. Go over here. Physical material. Let's go to self-illumination and get ourselves HDRI. And to get HDRI, we can go to, where's it at? HDRI Haven. So go right here, or Polyhaven is the new name. And depending on what we're trying to get, we can get one of these HDRIs. So let's go to indoor and see what we got over here. So like I said, if we're matching our reference, Blender Institute. It's funny. I don't have a reference, so I just want to get some nice sliding in there. And so you use these like shader balls to determine what's going on. This is like a reflective one, mirror, clay, and transparent. Actually used this one the other day. So you know what? I think I'm using it, right? So boiler room, that's the one I'm gonna choose. Well, actually, let me choose a new one just so I can go through the whole process. So let's go to Blender Institute. I'll click on this. 4K is good. Download. Cool. So I have this Blender Institute HDRI. Control C. I'm just putting it in my folder, image processing. All right. So now I'll just go over here and I'll get myself my HDRI. It's called Blender Institute. So let me find it. Oh, I thought I put it there. All right, so maybe I didn't. So I just put it in here. Cool. So we have this right here. We'll take it, go to Corona Sky, and we'll click on it. And we'll go to preview viewport, and we'll go to 20, and let's go to 4K. So it's here. Let's see. Actually, I think you're supposed to see it. I possibly could have put it in the wrong material. Let's see what it looks like. So if I get inside of my camera and do another render, like I said, I'm not sure why it's off like that. So it's affecting it. I just not sure why you don't actually see it here. So let me try something else. Let's go to create. Let's go to, I'm sorry, go to Corona, legacy material. Type in HDRI here. Let's go to take off diffuse and self-illumination. We'll do the same thing. Go here. Blender Institute, HDRI. I'll click on this, I'll take it away, and I'll just bring this one back. I'll put this here. Also, I'm probably just used to using the other render, and possibly getting some of the techniques mixed up with the lighting, but we'll figure it out. So for here, now we'll do another, we'll get inside of the camera. Corona interactive rendering. Kind of looks like the other one. But it looks nice. Yeah, if we inspect this, we look at the occlusion, it's looking nice. We don't need to with the other render, you'll see. I'll do it with the physical render as well. But the lighting is looking pretty good. Looks natural. Cool. And you get the results pretty quickly. For whatever reason in Cinema 4D. So let me get out of this camera. Yeah, so if you like your scene like that, yeah, it should look pretty good. And you can of course add in additional lights. So if we wanted something to, let's say, focus on the table, you could just take one of these other lights, kind of duplicate it and give it another placement. So let me do that really fast. Let me go to Corona light. This one up, give it a little bit of scale. And I'll turn it to face this computer area. You see it's in the scene, unlike the other one, which was like other ones that are kind of outside of it. You kind of have it focusing on the desk. Underscore desk. So if you keep it organized, helps a lot. Go to Corona, interactive rendering. You see that's hitting that desk pretty hard. So let's go to 5. Of course, we can bring it up a little bit. So you could also kind of think about this like color grading in certain program like Photoshop, like certain areas are brighter than others. They do that in a lot of TV shows. You probably don't notice. They'll go in and have a compositor, make certain parts of the scene stick out a bit more. Click off this direct visibility. Then I could do something like give it like a little bit of yellow. So it kind of like hits this and gives it just another type of feel. So now I'm like making it warmer, or you can make it blue because it's computer, right? So you can say, all right, this is kind of giving out some computer light type of thing. Even though it's not, we're just hitting the light with it. And then if we're feeling fancy, we can go in and give the guitar its own light too. So control click, just copy this light and I'll make it about the size of the guitar. And we'll just rotate it. You gotta be careful of the floor because you don't want the light to kind of hit that floor as well. So let's get back in our camera, check it out again. Corona. Now we'll go here. That one's blue. Let's make it like a little bit red. So you see our guitar is getting red, right? But I don't like this right here. So I might like raise it or pull it back. So it just gives it a little bit of nice effect. Our computer is getting some blue, that's getting a little bit of red. And then we just we can tone down the intensity as well. Yeah, so our guitar is kind of hot. We just play with these intensities. Yeah, and that's how you get started with the rendering with Corona.